Okay, come check it out.
I think it was good. Yeah. You want to come in and listen?
Yeah, I want to listen back to it.
You know, the pre-production is nice in a way, but in another way, you kind of like you lose that zest that you have from the first.
Oh, we lost that
from the
a
first
long
time.
Yeah, you have a lot of stuff in your DNA from just the love of music, but I think like when we're actually in writing mode, the biggest inspiration is each other.
Trap, dissolve, devour, twisted.
Yeah, we can listen through it. I can just do another one. Either way.
Essentially, I'm a bassist that writes on guitar and keyboard. When it comes to like recording bass guitar, I love being one-on-one in the room with Jamie. For one, because we're running my Sun 300T head that I've had since I was 20, half my life. We basically just like locked in a sound and have basically rolled with it ever since then. Spectre bass into the big Sun head into, you know, an Ampeg 410 or 810. Before going into the studio, we generally have a month before where we're able to like really zero in and just practice. It becomes so ingrained in you that it's such second nature. So you want to get as close to second nature. I do. When I'm recording, I just always have fun moving into the studio. I had lived with a demo of Things We Tell Ourselves in the Dark probably for like a year and a half before I shared it with the guys to get to the point where, you know, it's in its final form. That's so exciting to realize in the studio because you've seen all these demos, and you hear it in your head. There's just so much trust. There's so much like, this is a wild idea, let's go for it.
Bars! Browside!
For me, it's all about how it feels. It's like, okay, this feels really good or it doesn't, something feels off. I get to a place where I'm just like, how the hell am I gonna write vocals to this? As I've gotten older and done so many records, like I've found new voices I have. If there's no ideas from someone else to work off of, and I'm literally starting from scratch, it's all just about that internal spark you get when you pick up an instrument. Something happens within like 15 minutes that's either gonna spark something or it's not, and you just put it down, you don't think about it or don't force it, you know? And that's kind of how I've always approached music. I send like chunks of sections, anywhere between like 2 minutes and 4 minutes of like, I think this vibe and what I'm writing takes you, I think this will work really well, either with something someone else has written or I think it's a good starting point for a song. It's weird how a lot of times our ideas will just be totally in line with each other without talking about it at all. There'll be two of us working on sections and we're like, oh, that's in the exact same key, same tempo. You know, there's lots of like similarities in the overall tone of these sections. And there's moments where one group of the band is working on this track and another group's working on this track. There's more musical dialogue than, you know, us like verbally trying to explain what we want to do.
I'm sort of like the central hub where all the information goes. We all sort of use different avenues and programs by which we write. So we needed someone to kind of make everything sort of cohesive, and I think it's cool to kind of like be the guy that helps put all these puzzle pieces together. A big part of what I do is essentially trying to figure out ways in which to transition certain sections into each other, musically, sonically, but also rhythmically. It's crazy because everyone in the band writes. We almost have too much ammo. Like it kind of gets overwhelming. It's a good problem to have. We have tons of different things that we can pull from. I don't think we've had a writer's block for decades.
For me, recording is like, I make a spreadsheet of all my parts. I like to approach it like in a very organized way so that I visually see like what I've done. It helps me mentally. And it also allows me to kind of do more than I would maybe do otherwise. Before you go into the studio, really in the writing process, building a roadmap as far as like maybe some real shimmery chords to go under this sort of percussive rhythm section or whatever. I like to be prepared and just have everything kind of written down what I want to do.
Yeah,
That's great.
That's cool.
Sounds awesome.
Maybe a couple subdivisions.
Thanks.
And good warm up. Let's go ahead and just get this real one.
Good practice.
You got the parts worked out.
There's a lot of different influences that we share personally, and I think that's part of the reason we kind of clicked and kind of understood, the progressive element that they were doing, and we got the same sarcastic sense of humor. It's really important for them to be comfortable. That helps them be creative, and they do a great job at producing themselves, and I see the value of stepping back and just getting out of the way and let the artists do what they're going to do, at least hear their ideas first. And like with BTBAM, there's honestly minimal traditional production coming from me. I mean, mainly just facilitating the engineering and I guess the technical aspect of the recording process.
The house that I grew up in is 10 minutes down the road from Jamie's studio. It's wild. We were very fortunate to have a guy that was like not only in North Carolina but in the same town, that just spoke the same musical languages that we did, same vibe, just same personality and everything. He really is another member of the band. Like, we've always kind of viewed him that way.
We never have to explain our music to him. After all these years, he totally gets what we're trying to achieve. And he's been working with us for so long that he understands where he can push us. With vocals in particular, we've recorded so much together, he just understands like the way I like to layer things, and he's just there to really help me achieve that.
I've worked with him on nearly every album that I've done outside of Between the Buried and Me, and Tommy as well with his solo stuff, and Blake with his other group. He encourages the fun and the silly on the records, If someone's ever questioning something, he's like, yeah, we basically have to do that.
Like, it's never too much. He's like, go ahead, harmonize it. Let's do more with it. And that's good to have, because it's like, with the kind of music we're writing, we're oftentimes like, oh, is it too much or whatever. I think Jamie is a perfect complement to what we do because he's so positive.
We'll never do a record without him working with us in some way, shape, or form. The process of writing this album and putting it together, we'll get up and try to like hash certain parts out if there's like jammy sections or something like that. But for this record, I think we did it entirely in a remote fashion.
And we all write and record on different DAWs. Like, we all individually do things very different from each other. I don't know why, but I've been wanting to write about a hotel for ages. It's kind of just been in the back of my mind. And this record, once we started putting together songs and the fact that each song really lived in its own home, in its own place, I was like, this is the record, I need to do this.
I kind of like how we do it. Our demos are so rudimentary.
Oh, yeah.
It's like when we do
Probably
record,
good,
it's
yeah.
like seeing it come to life.
Oh, totally.
And as far as tracking the record, this was the first time I had tracked drums by myself. It was kind of cool to be able to go in, if I had the time to be able to track, 6 hours a day, I could do it. And it's like, oh, I only got time for like a couple hours tomorrow, it's no big deal.
I think, again, it is really honing in on the identity of each song. It feels like the most lived in from song to song.
I think the album as a whole has that flow. There's peaks and valleys, there's emotional ups and downs. There's kind of more pop influenced songs. There's sort of tips of the cap to, 80s sort of sounds. Just a modern take on some of those older influences that we've always had. And then, the usual BTBAM stuff. The heavy, in-your-face kind of technical metal stuff. I think the album is a perfect representation of kind of where we're at creatively and where we're at in our lives. And it feels like it's the right album at the right time for us.
It's very interesting because the songs that I didn't think I would like the most are the ones that I ended up liking the most. Like, it's so weird how that happens. One little key line can make or break a certain section, and now it's like, oh man, that part's amazing now because we just added this one little key line. It's like that makes the song right there. There's a song in particular, I think it's the title track, I think it's Blue Nowhere, that I've just been listening to on my own. And I never do that. When I got the first demo of it, I think I even made a phone call to the guys. I was like, is this what we want to do? Like, this is so kind of outside our wheelhouse. And now I'm like, man, I was an idiot. This is the best, this is like my favorite song that BTBAM's ever done.
They keep pushing the variety of the genres that they're tapping into. A lot of what BTBAM fans are gonna love, and they have elements of everything. And this is that and more. Of course, it's fresh material, and I always love fresh, new, original things. And this may be very well the strongest material to date.
Let me.
I've never heard it like that. It literally sounds like you're around.
Let me get it. Let me get it again.
Sorry, we laughed. I've just never heard it with just that line. It's so funny.
Do
It's
that
like Rugrats.
Yeah.
that one again.